Hello YouTube world, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I drop hot content like this, and stay tuned for the next video. Alright YouTube, this is what I'm going to talk about today. Today, I'm going to talk about the Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's DC's The Crisis on Infinite Earth that's been on CW. If you're not watching the shows that are out, that are on CW, check them out. I only really watch the hero shows like Green Arrow, The Flash, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Constantine. Am I missing anybody? There was, I think Lucifer even had a role in there somewhere. And so they were talking about it. Like everybody had like a crossover pretty much. And and Batwoman. If you're not, Supergirl. So I think the order goes Supergirl, Batwoman, Arrow, Flash, and DC Legends of Tomorrow. Again, well, like I say, I'll have it down in the description or whatever. Can't remember off the top of my head. I thought I was going to. I probably should have wrote it down. That's not my style. So I'll tell you like this. It is the longest crossover I've ever seen. It is 5 different shows, 5 different superhero shows, 5 different DC superhero shows, and it's expanded from the end of, I think it aired on December 8th, if I'm not mistaken, and it's aired on December 8th, and it ran all the way until just the other day where they closed it out on January 20th, 2020, this past Tuesday. So now, it was great. It was one of the best crossovers I ever seen because of what they did and how they put all these cameos in there and who all they stuck in there. And they had some A-listers in this game, in this movie. A-listers like, I don't know if you're familiar with who Kevin Conroy is, but he is the Batman. When you hear the Batman voice on any cartoon show, Batman the Animated Series or whatever, he is the Batman. Like literally his whole career is like with voiceovers, but his main voiceover that he's done for majority of his life, and he even said it in an interview, was Batman. They just knew that when he came in, it was like one take, you're it. You're a Batman. And I always was like, you know, I didn't think about it back then because I didn't think like this. Voiceovers, you know, it sounds like a great gig. It sounds like something that I would be great. I would want to do that. I would want to, anytime you've seen someone do the voice of a cartoon, it's probably harder than you think. And I know that they make a lot of money doing it. And it's something that, hey, I very much would be interested in. If I could find a character and go and do a voiceover and nail it or whatever, great. It's just like if you're watching Family Guy and Seth MacFarlane's doing half the show. So he does all the ones I like anyway, which is Peter, Brian, Stewie, Quagmire. Hey, without Seth MacFarlane, we wouldn't have, that's like the half of the show right there, right? Now, it was building up for years about the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like there was some crossovers. I think it was the second crossover called Crisis on Earth X, and that's when you first learned about the multiverse. And if you don't know what the multiverse is, the theory is considered like it's parallel Earths. If you ever seen the show Sliders, that's a good example. Which is one of my favorite shows. Just know that it's a great concept. Now, a lot of you are probably new to Batwoman which is Bruce's cousin Kate Kane. She goes back to Gotham and puts on the bat costume or whatever as a woman, and like I say, I've asked some people what city would they like to stay in out of all the cities or whatever that are made up in the DC world, as far as Gotham, Metropolis, National City, Central City, and Starlit City, or Star City, and Freeland. And a lot of people said Gotham, and I was like, are you kidding me? With that goes the villains that you have to deal with, and whatever else is going on in the city or whatever. And Gotham, to me, is probably like the worst city in the DC universe. Like, I think that I'm gonna die if I go to Gotham. If you've ever seen the TV show Gotham, you understand how bad it is in Gotham. I mean, some of the more nicer cities that I was thinking about is probably Central City, maybe, or National City. Central City seems cool, other than the fact that it's like prime central for all the metas, because that's pretty much where, that's what pretty much the show is based off of, how Flash became Flash, and Star Labs basically blew up and dropped a lot of dark matter on people, and they have all these different powers, and they're pretty much out there trying to stop the metas. So, which is kind of like meta enhanced human, or however you want to slice it, because I mean DC, they call them mutants. I mean in Marvel it's mutants, and DC it's metas. So it's basically people with powers, enhanced humans, however you want to look at it. But some of it's like, more people love the Flash than any of the other shows that DC has. Like, if I ask somebody about I guess because he's one of the mainstream premier Justice League characters or whatever, and who doesn't like a guy that can run like so fast he could go back in time or whatever into the Speed Force and all of that. And then just Barry Allen is just cool. My favorite my favorite episode of Flash is when he goes to Earth 2 and he's fighting Zoom. So this is probably like season 2-ish. I can't remember. Either way, he goes to Earth 2 and he's fighting Zoom or whatever, and they go and find Barry's doppelganger or whatever, Barry Allen, who isn't the Flash. And I'm going to talk more about that in a second. I'm going to just get to the point. And basically, but he is married to Iris West Allen. So they go, and Zoom has him locked in a cage in some sort of glass that the Flash can't get out of. And it's like supposed to be, the Flash can vibrate his molecules so fast that he can just phase through stuff. So if you didn't know that, now you know. That's one of his powers, whatever. So with that being said, he gets there, everyone gets there or whatever, trying to save him, and they're like, oh man, he's like, I can't get out. And then Barry Allen steps up to him and said, I went through all this stuff today just to prove to my wife that I could, that I could do this. And he was like, if I could do that, you could get out of that cage you're in, you can get out of there. He was like, because I'm just Barry Allen, but you're the Flash. And that right there, that moment right there just touched me, because I was like, it's like saying like, just think about that. It just kind of hits. Then he gets out, and then they look over, and then the Flash of Earth 2, which his name is Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick is like the doppelganger for Barry Allen's dad. And like when he finds out, like, oh man, that's who he is or whatever. And then later seasons, you find out that his wife is the doppelganger for Barry Allen's mom. They don't know that at the time. But yeah, like I say, that's a little bit of Flash trivia or whatever. Let me move on to talk about the Crisis a little more. The Crisis takes place where certain chain reactions happen where the Monitor, some guy in a cheesy suit or whatever, that's like, oh man, this crisis is coming and there's no way to prevent it, and everyone's gonna die except only thing you can do is fight the crisis, and so basically everyone is geared up for this crisis or whatever, because on every show, the closer it gets to the crossover, you're seeing all these red flashes of light in the sky, and that's antimatter that's created by the Anti-Monitor, which is like the same guy, but he looks like he's green in the face and he just blah, you know what I'm saying? Just, it is what it is. So I want to say that if you're watching Black Lightning, we're on season 3 now, and it's getting really good because everybody's coming into their own, and you have Lightning, which is China, coming into her own or whatever, and she's controlling her powers a lot more, and she's stronger than her dad, Jefferson Pierce, which is Black Lightning. And then you got his other daughter, Thunder, and they're going into, like, she's crossed over into where she's talking to her doppelgangers, there's 2 other people or whatever, and they're telling their story about what they did and how they messed up or whatever, and she was like, well, I'm glad to be me, and then something happens, and right now she's kind of like fighting for her life, or at least that's how it seems. That was the last take that they had on Black Lightning. Meanwhile, 3 different shows knew about the crisis or whatever, and that was Supergirl, Arrow, and The Flash. Now Supergirl, she's the only one of them that was from a parallel Earth, so it's crazy. Parallel Earth. Now that concept, for some of you guys, you might not understand exactly how it works or whatever, but it's crazy. So basically, the Monitor was like, there are 7 call them paradigms that can fight the Anti-Monitor or whatever, and it ended up being Martian Manhunter, Supergirl, Flash, Sarah Lance. What am I missing? Superman from an alternate Earth, and just some guy. I can't remember his name, but he was just some guy. And Batwoman, 7 different paradigms or whatever to fight the Anti-Monitor. Now, ultimately, they end up in a point beyond time, and they're there for a while. And when they first get there, Lex Luthor had tore a piece out of the Book of Destiny. And, well, here I'm telling you about it. I'm just saying it like this. Lex Luthor ends up in there. He's the only bad guy in the situation. And you know how, what his outlook is about everything. And I just want to say that I'm rambling. Sorry. Hopefully you haven't stopped watching. It's getting kind of long. I'm finna go ahead and just get to the point. Longest crossover, 5 different shows, very well thought out, very well, a lot of cameos in there, like, who's in there? If you remember the first Batman, The reporter from the first Batman was in there. The original Robin was in there. That's the one from back with Adam West or whatever with the Holy Rusted Metal Batman. You know what I'm saying? He says, what does he say? He says, Holy Crimson Skies of Death or something or whatever. It's funny. Who else did they have in there? Kevin Conroy, I was saying, the voice of Batman or whatever. He's in there. He's like the Batman of the future or whatever. And his thing was just kill them all, you know. Lucifer was in there. Constantine's in there. Oh man, like I say, you probably just have to watch it for yourself. Oh, it was Black Lightning's first crossover, so it was kind of like, oh my God, you know, he made it into the crossover this year. So I can only imagine. And it's funny to me that the Legends are the only ones that refer to it like, oh, it's the annual crossover. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is a thing that happens every year. You know. And a couple of seasons ago, they were like, we're not doing any more of these crossovers, you know, blah, blah, blah. But some of the main people that have been there since almost day one, well, the 3 day one people are still part of the crew, or they were on there, you know. It's probably in the contract, I don't know. And let's see. Who else? I can't think of anybody who wasn't on shows that was in the crossover or whatever. But basically, of course, you know what I'm saying, good triumphs over evil. And by, you know, spoiler alert, Oliver dies. Green Arrow dies. And that brings pretty much everyone together. It gives them the strength to create the first Earth, which is Earth Prime, where, like I said, this was what was important. Supergirl was in another universe. Now everyone is on this one Earth, and they're all teamed up. By the end of the show, it shows I guess all the ones that are on the DC universe or whatever, show like the Titans and Swamp Thing and Doom Patrol. You know, like I say, if you're watching the shows that come on DC Universe, then you'll understand or whatever. And each one of those had its own, different universe or whatever. So, like, feel free to check it out. Probably gone on too long. Probably gave you a lot of spoilers. This is a long video, but you gotta understand, it was 5 different episodes, you know. Like, I had to wait. It's kind of like saying, oh, I had to wait to 2020 to see how it all ended, you know. So maybe I can find a way to get it to where it's all in there together. They'll probably start selling that out. That's something that I'll be interested in getting a hold of. So, you know, just think about that. Crisis on Infinite Earths. Go check it out. DC, I appreciate you. I got a lot of love for you. I'm still, you know, Marvel is still my guys, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I also saw a cameo that kind of shocked me, and I'm not 100% sure, when the guy from Marv, M-A-R-V, was on there, and he was like, that's when you first find out that the worlds have collided into Earth Prime. And he's the guy in Marv, if you're not familiar with that, he's the guy that does Kick-Ass. And that would have been a pretty funny cameo as well. So, see y'all later.